my name is Shannon and I'm a registered dietitian with Corporate Fitness Works. We are in my home kitchen today and we are going to make a 10 ingredient slow cooker turkey and bean chili. The slow cooker is the perfect way to get a simple meal on the table or into your lunchbox without any fuss. It does most of the cooking for you with little effort. Plus, this chili uses minimal ingredients but provides tons of flavor, so it's budget friendly using mostly pantry staples. The bulk of this chili comes from both the lean ground turkey and two types of beans. We're using both black beans and red kidney beans to help extend our meat or poultry. The term meat extender is exactly that. It's the method of using a plant-based protein like these beans to help extend the protein and satiety of a meat or poultry like this ground turkey. So in the end, we won't have to use as much of the ground turkey, which helps our wallet, but we will also get plenty of protein and added fiber and trace minerals from the beans or other meat extenders depending on the dish. Now when purchasing ground meat or poultry, look for the leanest option, which is usually a 95:5 ratio, meaning it is 95% lean with only about 5% fat estimated. When it comes to poultry, you also want to look for the lowest in sodium, as most food processing will add salt or use a saltwater brine to pump up the volume of the chicken and turkey. So be sure to read your food labels, checking for total fat and sodium. And just in case you're looking at this particular ground turkey thinking it looks a little off, well, this is actually a plant-based version of ground turkey, as that's what fits into my lifestyle, but I'll go through the same cooking steps as if this is true turkey. Now there are just a couple things of produce to help get some veggies and extra fiber into this dish. So we have two different colored bell peppers for a punch of vitamin C, whatever color you would like, red, green, yellow, orange. And also an onion. Although onions can last in a dry room temperature area for about 1 to 2 months, we'll still consider this produce. We'll be getting a lot of flavor from just a few pantry staple ingredients, as I mentioned earlier. So we have some canned diced tomatoes and canned tomato sauce, both of which are either low sodium or no salt added. Tomatoes have natural sodium in them, so there's no need to purchase tomato products with added salt. Instead of adding table salt, we're flavoring this chili with some spices. You'll definitely want some chili powder and some ground cumin. I like to add some fresh cracked black pepper. And then whatever other seasonings you'd like, you can add some paprika, some oregano works really well in here, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, whatever inspires you. First things first, we're going to want to dice our onion. So we're going to start by trimming off the tail end to make this flat. Never cut off the root or the ones with the little hairs growing out of it. We want to keep this intact. So using a very sharp knife, we'll just trim off the tail end and then turn it on that flat surface. And here we will cut through the root to make the onion in halves. And of course, we will peel away the outer layer. Working with just 1/2 at a time, we're going to place the flat side down and place your palm on top to keep it sturdy. Now this part is kind of optional, but you can take your knife and kind of seesaw it in towards the root and gently bring it back out. Again, we're not going through the root. So what I did is I kind of made a mouth here. Now depending on the depth of your onion, you can do this 1 or 2 times. So a third and then the upper third. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And then now we'll turn it, and be sure to keep your opposite hand that's not using the knife with your fingertips curled under, kind of like a bear claw. So that'll hold it sturdy. And we're going to start with the tip of the knife up towards the root, but again, not going through the root. Okay, so just about 1/4 or 1/2 inch below. We're going to go along the groove of the onion, making slices. And once you get halfway through, you can open up that opposite hand and hold the sides of the onion. Just making slices along until you're comfortable. You don't have to go all the way along the curve. We'll turn the onion again, and now we are working in the opposite direction, starting with the tip of the blade, going to the cutting board, and then rocking it back towards you. And we're gonna just go all the way up to the root, and you'll have minimal waste. This is a very fresh onion. It's kind of slimy, so I'm being extra careful to make sure my knife doesn't slip, and you can see you barely have any onion left. And we'll have our dices into perfect squares. And that is how you want to cut your onion when you're dicing. The important thing about not going through the tail, especially for fresher onions, is that this is where most of the gases that contain those, tear gases up there are housed. So once you cut through that, it releases those gases, and that's what makes you cry. The only active cooking part you'll need to be a part of is browning your ground turkey. So heat a large skillet over medium-high heat, and we don't need any oil since the juices from the turkey will be released with the heat. And we again want that browning. And just a reminder, this is my plant-based turkey, so it's going to look a little different and the cooking's going to look a little different. We'll also add our onions in here. And this will take about not even 10 minutes to do. It doesn't even have to be completely cooked because it's going to end up in the slow cooker cooking for a few more hours anyways. So just until it's, very light pink in the middle, but use your spatula to break it up into little crumbles, mix it in with the onions, and just continually stir. Again, if you are going to add some additional seasonings, I like to add garlic powder in this step. So I'm going to just pour it in my hand first so that the steam doesn't enter my seasoning jar. Then you can add that here as well. So keep doing this, again, less than 10 minutes here, and then we'll get it into the slow cooker with everything else. So if your ground turkey is not one of the leanest varieties, then you'll want to drain any of the excess fat before we add it into our slow cooker. But now that this is browned and the onions are nice and soft, all we have to do is add everything into the slow cooker and let it cook. So this and all of our remaining ingredients will go in here, and then you'll cover and cook this on high for about 4 to 6 hours, or on low for about 6 to 8 hours. Low setting would work best if you plan to do this before work and have it ready when you're home. High is good if you know you'll be around to check on it or simply running errands for the day. So I did this on high for about 5 hours, and it's looking and smelling really good. So I'm just going to turn it on warm and tilt the lid until we are ready to enjoy this delicious chili. We're gonna add a side of cornbread, but you can also serve it with some whole grain chips, a side salad, a half sandwich, whatever your nutrient needs are, your hunger levels. This is great. Now, if you have any leftovers, let it completely cool off before dividing them up into individual containers that are single portion sizes. And this makes it easy and convenient to grab your next meal without over serving yourself, keeping your portions at bay. And then you can just store those in the refrigerator for up to about 4 to 5 days, or you can pop these in the freezer for up to 2 to 3 months. Enjoy!